This video is going to look at a 5-mark question 11. Analyze the interrelationship of religious traditions and their cultural context. The first thing that we need to do is have a look at this key verb to analyze. Analyze means to identify components, so that is religion and society and culture, and the relationship among them. Draw out and relate implications. Before we launch into our response, however, I just want to draw your attention to one of our previous worksheets on the characteristics of religion. And I want to talk to you about setting out your research so that responding to a question like this becomes really, really simple. The worksheet on characteristics of religion, you're all familiar with it. At the end, we have a question that says, list the ways in which religion has played an important role in society. Include examples. So I've gone through the two texts, Living Religion and Oxford Studies of Religion, and I've pulled out these key points on the ways in which religion has impacted on society and culture. And you'll notice that I've allocated a separate row in the table for each. They're not in any particular order. So when I went through those two texts, I found plenty of information on each of those aspects of society that religion has influenced. The reason why I wanted you to have a look at this completed table is that I can now just pick out my key points and add my examples and my explanations using conjunctions, and we're going to have a look at that right now. So, our topic sentence indicates that culture and religion are interconnected, as religion cannot be expressed without cultural setting and context. We're going to expand on that interrelationship by referring to two broad categories in which religion impacts on society and culture. The first one is as a progressive influence, and the next one is as a conservative influence. Because I've mentioned progressive first, that's the one I'm going to discuss first. So, as a progressive influence, religion emphasizes human dignity and has been proactive in instilling a sense of justice. Now I'm going to provide some examples, evident in areas such as advocacy for refugees, Indigenous rights, protection of the environment, and opposition to military action. I'm going to highlight those in grey. Another way that religion has a progressive influence is that generally society's laws are based on ethical systems of religious tradition. And some examples of that are the Westminster system of law and government, as well as Islamic laws and government. In addition, so we're going to add another way in which religion exerts a progressive influence, and we're going to use an additive conjunction. Social welfare is a constant in religious traditions, which have often developed, some more examples here, hospitals, orphanages, and care for the stranger. Religions have also recognized the importance of education for their young and the need to develop higher forms of learning, through the establishment of great universities throughout Europe and the Islamic world. We're going to provide even more examples, and we're going to use another additive conjunction. Furthermore, different religious traditions have been great patrons for the arts, resulting in some of the world's wonders of architecture. Angkor Wat, Taj Mahal, Chartres Cathedral, not to mention the great buildings of the Renaissance, and as well as the decoration of their sacred spaces. So this is art, such as churches, mosques, synagogues and temples, with graceful design and ornament. These have been recognized as masterpieces by both religious and non-religious people. This contrastive conjunction indicates that we are now going to give another point of view or another perspective. Instead of using in contrast, you could have used however. These traditions can also exert a conservative influence, particularly in the areas such as sexual morality and bioethics, contributing to debates against stem cell research, euthanasia, and homosexual relationships. So there's some examples there. I'll just put in grey again. Clearly trying to prevent society from moving away from traditional values. Okay, finally, our concluding link. In these ways, religion is expressed through culture and society, continuing to exert both a progressive and conservative influence. So if we were to go back to our research, you would be able to find pretty much all of those ideas. I don't think this one, meaning and order in human life, I could have added that last one. I don't think that's in it. But pretty much all those others are rearing and ready to go to jump out of your table and straight into your written response. The next thing you're going to do is respond to the question, appreciate the contribution of religion to individuals. The first thing you need to do is have a look at that key verb. To appreciate means to make a judgment about the value of. So you'll be making a judgment about the contribution of religion to the lives of individuals. Does it have a positive or a negative effect? So let's go back to our characteristics of religion worksheet. Scroll down to the bottom and you'll be looking at your Oxford Studies of Religion and Living Religion texts to find some key points about the ways in which religion contributes to the lives of individuals. You'll be finding some examples and you'll be using words that indicate that it has a positive or a negative effect. I'm sure you'll think of more words other than positive or negative. Those are the key words that are going to indicate your judgment. And you will be able to pick your key points out and respond to this question without any problem.